Is he a bull? Is he a bear?
He's just a guy on X.
That's right, I am just a guy on X, and about a week ago I did this video right here about the listing fears. And I also called out a person called Mullen who seems to be pumping with every post. And then he replies this, kind of mocking me with my video, saying, "Don't get distracted, it's almost party time." And then you have another person who hates my videos, and that is Tim the Toolman, says, "Love the disco dancing." Well, this video I will dedicate to Mullen, and I have to tell you that it's time to get distracted. And this was posted yesterday by Mullen, and it says, "Don't get distracted, they're everywhere." And what is he trying to have you not be distracted by? Well, this was posted in the morning, and then in the after hours, you had something that you were really supposed to not get distracted by, and that is that there's going to be a annual meeting of stockholders held on February 27th. And the proposals are something that you really need to be distracted by. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'm going to go over the important ones, and I cut it in half. I cut the list in half here so we can read them better. And Proposal 2, while I don't have to read the whole thing of time, but it says that the lenders that are investing in Mullen, remember, they were only allowed to hold about 10%. Well, they brought it up to 19.99%, and now they want to change it to where they can hold in excess of 19.99%, meaning that Mullen really doesn't run the show. It's the lenders. The lender says, "Hey, I'm going to keep giving you money, but you're going to have to allow me to hold more than that." And then here they go. That's on the proposal. And guess what? They're going to have the votes, and it's going to change. Proposal 3, while I'm not going to go into everything about it, this has to do with the issuance of shares of common stock to our chief executive officer pursuant to amendments to performance stock award agreements. Now, I'm going to go to Kendall Payne's post, and he says, pre-14A, David Mitry didn't complete his homework on time and wants 2 more years with which to claim all the Mullen Performance Award shares. The wording from the compensation committee about value to shareholders and continued stockholders returns is such a joke. And what he is talking about is that David did not complete in the 2 years that he had in order to get all of his compensation performance awards. Now he wants 2 more years in order to get those. So all this one has to do is about David getting more awards, as if he's doing such a great job. Remember, guys, 4 reverse stock splits, dilution to hell, and here we are again. And I'll just wait until we get to the next proposal to show you what is really important here. Now, before we move on from this, I did want to read the following from Kendall Payne, and he says, Let's hear the Mullen Compensation Committee explain how the $11 million agreement, among multiple meaningless milestones, was a significant milestone that benefited shareholders, or how it drove the next decade of our shareholders' returns. And what he's talking about is that there was no Watergen agreement. Nothing ever came of that, yet he got performance awards for it. What the hell? And it was other things that he's talking about as well. Now let's go on to Proposal 4, and this is what you're here for. I'm pretty sure that this is what Mullen doesn't want you to get distracted by. And it is a proposal to do another reverse stock split. Yes, you heard that right. Reverse stock split number 5. David Mitry was not lying to you when he said you were going to have a 5RS. It's just not the 5RS you were thinking about. The ratio will not be voted upon then. That will be at a later time when they see how much they need it to be. But the proposal is to do a reverse stock split, 1-for-2 to 1-for-100. Now let's go to proposal number 5. And this has to do with approving an amendment to the company's equity incentive stock plan. And this has to do with them wanting another 20 million shares because they feel like the executives and the board of directors deserve more stock incentives for the awesome job they were doing, and they want to increase that by 20 million shares. Proposal number 6 is to approve a second and separate amendment to the 2022 plan for the adoption of an automatic annual increase in the shares of common stock available for issuance under the 2022 plan. And that means that automatically they will be able to issue whatever shares that they have to at the time, which means more dilution. And we have Proposal 7. Proposal 7 says to approve an amendment to the company's second amendment and restated certificate of incorporation to increase the authorized number of shares of preferred stock to 1 billion. Now, this is preferred stocks. This is what they give out to the lenders, and a lot of them are able to be converted into even more shares depending on the stock price, because when they make an agreement, they make it on dollar value, not so much on stock amount. So if the stock drops, which it always does, they get more shares than what they're supposed to in the agreement. And yes, this is on top of the 5 billion shares that they're allowed to issue every time they do a reverse stock split. That resets and it goes back to up to 5 billion. They just have to get them registered and they can issue up to 5 billion shares. So these guys are planning massive dilution. Now we'll go back to one of Kendall Payne's posts, and he says, observe how pretty much all of these proposals in the Mullen annual shareholders meeting are related to issuance of shares. The only non-share issuance proposals are the required director, election, and accountant appointments proposals. That tells you what Mullen is entirely about, and I believe what he means there is about dilution. Issuance of shares. That is what they're trying to do. And of course, they need another reverse stock split so they can issue even more shares. Right now, the price is at about 94 cents, I believe, at close on Friday. And that means that they are not planning to get over $1 organically and stay above $1. Now, they do still have 2 months until they get to vote on this. That means that at some point, the price is going to have to come over $1 so that they can reset that 30-day clock that they must not be under $1 in order to get delisted. So they're going to, at some point, I believe, that they're going to get above $1 again to reset that clock and then run down, of course, again for 30 days until that they can do their reverse stock split. Now, every time that they went under $1, they took it down to 10 cents or under. So why would this time, after the 5th reverse stock split, be any different? Or after the 4th reverse stock split, which we're at right now, it's under $1. I believe that before they do the next reverse stock split, it will go to about 10 cents. They do this every time. Now we'll go to another post of Kendall Payne's, and he says Mullen OS per the 1227 preliminary proxy is at least 16 million. So that's right now. That's the OS right now. For context, the OS as of the 6/3 record date for the prior shareholders vote was 15.58 million. So almost about the same. Note that there was a 100 or 1 for 100 RS in between, meaning OS multiplied, the outstanding share multiplied by more than 100 times in just 6 months. That is absolutely insane. And if you think that Mullen is not going to drop it down to about 6 cents again and then do probably the biggest reverse stock split that they can, which is 1 for 100, think again. Now let's add to that. This is from Sean Williams, and he says, another fun exercise. What's 16,017,051 shares unwound through the Mullen reverse stock splits? And that comes out to 36 trillion shares. If with all their reverse stock splits that they did, the ratio, 36 trillion shares. the company's share count was 17,471 on December 31st, 2021 to 36 trillion on today's date. But it's naked shorts, counterfeit shares, right? And of course, he is laughing at the notion that people are pushing that these are counterfeit shares, it's naked shorting, it's all of this other stuff that is bringing down the price. It is not. It is David Mitry and his dilution machine. So in conclusion, guys, I think it's time to get distracted. It's not almost party time. There is no party. It's not for you anyways. It's for David and the executives. And Mullen Moon, who probably works for Mullen because he is putting out stuff like this every time something big is about to come out. And it looks like he is trying to distract you from the truth and what is really happening behind the scenes. He doesn't want you to know about these proposals. He's not putting these out there. Every time he posts anything, it is a pump, fluff, PR. Remember, Christmas is now come and gone, and they were putting out posts getting ready for candy canes and cookies. I don't know about you, but I didn't have any candy canes and cookies, not from Mullen anyway, and it's not going to be party time. It's time to get distracted. It's time to learn the truth about Mullen, what they're doing, their fluff PRs, and see it for what it is. And once again, I would like to thank Mullen Moon for encouraging me to make this video. And remember, guys, do not get distracted. It's almost party time.